Hey everyone! Today, we're diving into some killer tips for developing a rock-solid testing strategy that will take your project to the next level. Here's a quick rundown of what we'll cover. 1. Define the project scope. 2. Set clear objectives. 3. Conduct risk analysis and establish a test automation environment. 4. Develop an execution plan. Implement a test naming convention, and manage release control. 5. Plan for failure analysis and emphasize review and feedback. Let's get started. Define the project scope. First up, define your project scope from an automation perspective. Set those timelines and milestones for each sprint. Decide which tests to automate and which to handle manually. Remember, not all tests are automation-friendly. Use the 80-20 rule. Automate the 80% that significantly reduces regression testing errors and manage the rest manually or exclude them. Example: for an e-commerce site, automate tests for adding items to the cart, checking out, and payment processing. Manually test complex scenarios like discount calculations or promotional offers. When picking your automation approach, focus on these 3 areas. Processes. Set up procedures for creating, maintaining, and analyzing test cases. Technology. Choose tools and tech that fit your applications. Roles and responsibilities. Define clear roles like automation lead, engineer, and architect to keep things smooth. Example: use tools like Selenium for web apps, Appium for mobile apps, and JUnit for Java applications. Assign an automation lead to oversee the project, an engineer to write scripts, and an architect to design the framework. Set clear objectives. Next, set clear and realistic objectives that align with your business goals. Aim to reduce execution time, increase throughput, improve test coverage, minimize bugs, and enhance customer satisfaction. Example: set an objective to reduce test execution time by 50% within 6 months by automating repetitive test cases. Aim to increase test coverage by including edge cases that were previously tested manually. Conduct risk analysis and establish a test automation environment. Perform a thorough risk analysis. List potential risks, their severity, probability, mitigation strategies, and cost estimates. Make sure your test environment mirrors the production environment closely for reliable results. Plan where to store test data, decide if you can use production data, masked if necessary, and determine if test cases should clean up data after use. Example: for a banking app, identify risks like transaction failures or security breaches. Use a staging environment that mirrors production and masks sensitive data for testing. Implement cleanup scripts to reset data after test runs. Develop an execution plan, implement a test naming convention, and manage release control. Execution plan. Detail daily tasks related to automation. Select test cases based on predefined criteria and verify them multiple times before adding them to your regression suite to avoid false failures. Test naming convention. Use a consistent naming convention for better organization. Include the test case number ID, feature module, and a brief description of what the test verifies. Release control. Set clear criteria for passing a build in the release pipeline, like the successful completion of all automated regression tests and evaluating application test logs. Example: create an execution plan where login tests run daily, checkout tests run weekly, and performance tests run monthly. Name your tests like TC_001_login_valid credentials to keep things organized. Define a release criteria that requires all critical tests to pass without any high-severity bugs. Plan for failure analysis and emphasize review and feedback. Failure analysis. Have a plan for quickly addressing failing test cases, from notification to backlog inclusion. This saves time and cuts down on frustration, making your team more efficient. Review and feedback. Regularly review and get approval for your test automation strategy from stakeholders. Foster a culture of continuous learning and improvement. Embrace feedback and document lessons learned to enhance your strategy. Example: set up alerts for failed tests that notify the team immediately. Prioritize fixing critical test failures and add them to the backlog. Schedule bi-weekly reviews with stakeholders to discuss the automation strategy and gather feedback for continuous improvement. To develop a comprehensive testing strategy, focus on defining your project scope, selecting the right automation approach, setting clear objectives, conducting risk analysis, and establishing a robust test environment. Additionally, implement a detailed execution plan. Use a consistent naming convention, manage release control, plan for failure analysis, and emphasize continuous review and feedback to ensure efficiency, quality, and collaboration. If you enjoyed this video, check out our other videos.